Ladies and gentlemen, there is a fire that burns within every person who has ever dared to dream, dared to fight, and dared to win. It is not luck, nor is it talent alone. It is something deeper, something forged in the silent hours when no one is watching. It is the mindset of a champion, the unshakable belief that you were made for something greater. You see, a champion is not born. A champion is built, not in moments of glory, but in the hours of struggle, in the face of doubt, in the moments when giving up seems easier than pressing forward. The world may try to convince you that success is reserved for a chosen few, but I tell you this, it belongs to those who refuse to accept anything less. If you want to think like a winner, you must train your mind before you train your body. You must condition your spirit before you claim your victory. So let me share with you the key principles that separate those who dream from those who do, those who wish from those who will. Champions take full ownership of their lives, their choices, and their results. They do not blame circumstances, luck, or other people for their failures. Instead, they accept full responsibility for everything that happens to them, both good and bad. This mindset is what separates them from the rest. When they fall short, they do not make excuses or point fingers. They analyze their mistakes, learn from them, and adjust their approach. Taking ownership means understanding that no one else is responsible for their success. It is entirely in their hands. This level of accountability is not always easy, but it is necessary. It forces them to be honest with themselves and to develop the discipline needed to improve. The moment a person stops blaming others and starts taking full responsibility for their actions is the moment they begin to grow. Champions do not wait for things to change. They change themselves. They do not depend on luck. They create their own opportunities through relentless effort and smart decisions. By owning every aspect of their journey, they gain the power to shape their future instead of being controlled by it. Champions do not see obstacles as roadblocks. They see them as stepping stones to success. Where others see failure, they see a lesson. Where others see setbacks, they see an opportunity to grow stronger. They understand that challenges are not meant to stop them, but to test their resilience and sharpen their skills. Every great success story is filled with adversity, but the difference between those who win and those who quit is perspective. Instead of fearing difficulties, champions embrace them. They know that struggle builds character, that resistance creates strength, and that setbacks often lead to breakthroughs. Rather than complaining about what stands in their way, they ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this make me better?" This mindset turns difficulties into advantages, because each challenge overcome adds another layer of wisdom, endurance, and confidence. Champions trust that the harder the battle, the greater the reward. They do not shy away from adversity. They lean into it knowing that every obstacle conquered is another step toward their ultimate goal. Champions understand that winning is not just about physical strength or skill. It starts in the mind. They train their minds as intensely as they train their bodies, because they know that mental toughness is what separates the good from the great. No matter how strong or talented a person is, if their mind is weak, they will break under pressure. Champions prepare themselves for adversity by developing unshakable focus, discipline, and resilience. They practice controlling their emotions, staying calm under stress, and pushing through discomfort. Just as a muscle grows stronger with repeated use, the mind becomes more powerful through consistent mental conditioning. They use visualization techniques, seeing themselves succeeding before it even happened. They build confidence by repeating positive affirmations and reinforcing the belief that they are capable of achieving their goals. They also develop patience and persistence, knowing that setbacks are temporary and only those who refuse to quit will succeed. Champions do not let doubt, fear, or distractions control them. They train their minds to stay committed even when motivation fades, to push forward when others give up, and to believe in their ability to overcome any obstacle. A strong body can take an athlete far, but a strong mind can take them to the top. Champions master both, ensuring that when the moment of challenge arrives, they are not only physically ready, but mentally unstoppable. Champions understand that greatness is not given. It is earned through relentless effort, sacrifice, and discipline. They embrace the grind, knowing that success is built in the unseen moments. The early mornings, the late nights, and the hours spent working when no one is watching. While others look for shortcuts or quick results, champions commit to the process, understanding that mastery takes time and effort. They do not complain about the hard work because they know it is the price of excellence. They welcome the struggle, knowing that every drop of sweat, every aching muscle, and every ounce of exhaustion is shaping them into something stronger. The grind is not glamorous. It is filled with setbacks, frustration, and moments of doubt. But champions push through because they have a deep sense of purpose driving them forward. They do not need constant motivation because they have discipline. They show up even when they do not feel like it. They push harder when their bodies and minds tell them to stop. They know that true progress is made in those moments when quitting seems like an option. But they refuse to give in. Embracing the grind means understanding that success is not about a single moment of victory, but about the countless hours of preparation that led up to it. Champions fall in love with the process, knowing that the work they put in today will define their future. They train with intensity, study their craft, and refine their skills daily, because they understand that every repetition, every failure, and every challenge is part of the journey to becoming the best. While others wish for success, champions work for it every single day. Champions never allow success to make them complacent. They stay hungry even after victory, because they understand that the moment they stop pushing forward is the moment they start falling behind. Winning is not a final destination, it is just another step in an ongoing journey. Many people achieve success once and then relax, satisfied with what they have accomplished. But champions think differently. They know that true greatness is not about a single victory, but about sustaining excellence over time. They refuse to let past success make them comfortable, because they understand that the world does not stop moving, and neither can they. After a win, they celebrate briefly, but their minds are already focused on what's next. They ask themselves, how can I improve? What's the next challenge? How do I get even better? This relentless drive is what keeps them at the top. They understand that the hunger they had before their first victory is the same hunger they need to maintain if they want to keep winning. They do not allow themselves to become satisfied or stagnant because they know that someone somewhere is training harder, working longer, and preparing to take their spot. Champions also recognize that growth never stops. There is always another level to reach, another skill to sharpen, another goal to conquer. They study their craft, refine their techniques, and continue learning from every experience, whether it's a win or a loss. Their ambition does not fade with success. It intensifies. They understand that the best never settle, and they refuse to let yesterday's accomplishments define them. Instead, they use every victory as fuel to push themselves even further, proving that true champions are not satisfied with being great for a moment. They are committed to being great for a lifetime. Champions do not rely on passion alone to drive them. They are fueled by a deeper sense of purpose. Passion is powerful, but it is also fleeting. It burns bright in the beginning, but without purpose, it fades when faced with setbacks, fatigue, or failure. Purpose, on the other hand, is what keeps champions moving forward when passion runs low. It is the unwavering why behind their efforts, the reason they sacrifice, and the force that keeps them going even when the journey gets tough. A person driven by passion alone may start strong, but without purpose, they are more likely to quit when things do not go their way. Champions understand this, so they dig deep. They find a reason for their struggle that is bigger than themselves, something that keeps them grounded when the excitement wears off and the grind becomes difficult. Whether it is to inspire others, to prove to themselves what they are capable of, to create a legacy, or to provide for their family, champions have a purpose that pushes them beyond personal ambition. Purpose creates discipline. It keeps champions committed even when motivation fades. It helps them wake up early, train longer, and endure hardships without losing sight of their goals. When setbacks come, and they always do, it is purpose that keeps them from giving up. Champions do not just chase victories, they chase meaning. Their work is not just about winning, but about fulfilling something greater. That is why they keep going when others stop. They understand that passion may light the fire, but it is purpose that keeps it burning, guiding them toward lasting success. Champions understand that they cannot achieve greatness alone. They carefully choose the people they surround themselves with, knowing that their environment plays a crucial role in shaping their mindset, habits, and success. They seek out mentors, coaches, and peers who challenge them to be better, who push them beyond their limits, and who hold them accountable to their goals. They know that if they want to rise to the top, they must be around those who are already there, or those who are climbing just as relentlessly as they are. Champions do not waste time with negative, complacent, or unmotivated people who drain their energy and limit their potential. Instead, they align themselves with individuals who share their vision, their work ethic, and their hunger for success. They study those who have already achieved what they seek, learning from their experiences, their failures, and their wisdom. They are not afraid to ask for guidance, because they know that growth comes from learning. They immerse themselves in books, speeches, and stories of legendary figures who defied the odds. They feed their minds with knowledge, motivation, and the belief that anything is possible. By choosing to be in an environment of excellence, they naturally adopt the habits, discipline, and mindset required to win. Champions are not afraid to cut ties with people who hold them back. They understand that success requires tough decisions, including walking away from relationships that do not align with their goals. They value quality over quantity when it comes to their circle, choosing to be around a few great minds rather than many mediocre ones. In the end, champions know that they are the average of the people they spend the most time with. If they want to think, act, and succeed like the best, they must surround themselves with the best. Greatness is not just achieved through individual effort. It is built through the influence of those who inspire, challenge, and push them to become more than they ever thought possible. Champions feel fear just like everyone else, but the difference is that they do not let it control their actions or dictate their future. They understand that fear is a natural part of growth, a signal that they are stepping outside their comfort zone, pushing towards something bigger than themselves. While others allow fear to paralyze them, keeping them stuck in doubt, hesitation, and inaction, champions acknowledge it, face it, and move forward anyway. They know that fear only has power if they give in to it. Fear whispers lies, telling them they are not ready, not good enough, or that failure is too great a risk. But champions do not listen to these voices. Instead, they use fear as fuel. They recognize that if something scares them, it likely means it is worth pursuing. The greatest rewards in life, success, growth, achievement, are always on the other side of fear. Champions do not run from challenges, they run toward them, knowing that the only way to overcome fear is to face it head on. They train their minds to reframe. Instead of seeing it as a warning to stop, they see it as a sign of opportunity. When fear tries to hold them back, they remind themselves that the pain of regret is far worse than the temporary discomfort of stepping into the unknown. They would rather try and fail than never try at all and be left wondering what could have been. Champions also understand that fear diminishes with action. The more they push through their fears, the stronger and more confident they become. With every challenge they conquer, their belief in themselves grows, proving that fear was never as powerful as it seemed. They develop the courage to take risks, embrace uncertainty, and bet on themselves even when the odds seem impossible. At the end of the day, champions know that fear is an illusion designed to keep them small. But they refuse to live a life dictated by doubt. They take control of their fate, make bold decisions, and move forward with unwavering determination. Because they understand one simple truth: fear only wins if you let it. Champions understand that pain is an unavoidable part of the journey to greatness. They know that growth, progress, and success all come with struggle, discomfort, and sacrifice. But they also know something even more important: pain is temporary, while regret can last a lifetime. The pain of waking up early, pushing through exhaustion, facing failure, and enduring setbacks eventually fades. The soreness from training, the frustration from setbacks, and the disappointment from short-term losses all pass with time. But the pain of knowing they could have given more, tried harder, or stayed committed, that pain lingers forever. Regret is a burden that weighs heavier than any temporary hardship. Champions refuse to look back on their lives wondering, what if? They understand that the discomfort of discipline is nothing compared to the suffering of knowing they quit too soon or let fear hold them back. When faced with the choice between pushing forward or taking the easy way out, they remind themselves that the pain of effort is fleeting, but the pain of inaction is permanent. They train their minds to embrace short-term struggles for long-term rewards. They do not shy away from challenges because they know that suffering today builds strength for tomorrow. They endure the sacrifices, missing out on distractions, working when others are resting, and staying committed when motivation fades, because they know that every ounce of effort brings them closer to their dreams. They trust that the discomfort they feel now is shaping them into something greater, molding them into the person they are destined to become. Champions accept that pain is part of the price of success, but they also know that it does not last forever. Every challenge they overcome, every moment of struggle they push through brings them closer to victory. They can endure the momentary hardship because they have seen the alternative, the weight of regret, the pain of knowing they held back, and the realization that they let their dreams slip away. That is a pain they refuse to live with. So they push forward no matter how tough the road gets, because they know that when the pain fades, the pride of knowing they gave everything will remain. Champions never stop believing in themselves, their dreams, or their ability to overcome any challenge. No matter how many obstacles they face, no matter how many times they fail, they hold on to an unshakable belief that they will succeed. This belief is not based on luck, talent, or external validation. It comes from within. It is something they cultivate every single day, a mindset that refuses to accept defeat as the final outcome. Many people lose faith in themselves when things do not go as planned. They let doubt creep in, questioning whether they are good enough, strong enough, or capable enough to achieve their goals. But champions do not entertain those thoughts for long. They know that setbacks are temporary and that failure is not a reflection of their potential. It is simply a lesson on the path to greatness. They do not let short-term struggles shake their long-term vision. Instead, they use adversity as fuel, reminding themselves that every great success story is built on perseverance and belief in the face of doubt. Champions also understand that belief is a choice. They choose to believe in themselves even when no one else does. They choose to trust in their preparation, their effort, and their resilience. They remind themselves why they started, and they refuse to let fear, failure, or negativity take them off course. When others tell them it is impossible, they see it as a challenge to prove what is possible. When the odds are stacked against them, they dig deeper, knowing that belief has the power to turn obstacles into opportunities. This unwavering faith is what allows champions to keep going when everything around them suggests they should quit. It is what helps them rise after every fall, push forward when they are exhausted, and fight for their dreams when the world tells them to give up. They do not wait for proof of success before believing. It is their belief that creates success. They know that as long as they never stop believing in themselves, nothing is truly out of reach. Because in the end, the only thing that can truly stop a champion is the moment they stop believing, and true champions never do. So now the choice is yours. Will you rise, push forward, and embrace the mindset of a champion? Will you take ownership of your destiny, face every obstacle with courage, and refuse to let fear or doubt hold you back? Remember, greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. It belongs to those who are willing to fight for it, to those who refuse to quit, and to those who believe in themselves even when no one else does. The road will not be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. Keep going, keep pushing, keep believing, because the only limits that exist are the ones you refuse to break. Your journey to greatness starts now. Step forward and claim it.